Hey guys and girls, my name is Alan and welcome to today's trailer analysis video. So, it's been a long time coming, but Mass Effect finally have decided, well, I guess not Mass Effect, but EA, BioWare, somebody, have finally decided to reveal the multiplayer mode for Mass Effect Andromeda. Now, they did cancel the technical test, the open beta, or whatever it was, closed beta, which was due to take place a couple of weeks ago, or a lot earlier at this point, basically. So that's unfortunate, and I was expecting information to come out a lot before then. But the game actually is coming out, well, by the time this video's gone live, it'll be coming out next week, this time next week, hopefully. So it's a bit strange, and some people have said a little bit worrying that they've left the multiplayer stuff relatively last minute. And in fact, they haven't revealed too much about the game in general until the last couple of weeks and months. And for something they've been working on for years, or supposedly for years, I guess on the surface of it, there is a bit to be worried about. But, well, today we're talking about the multiplayer reveal, and there's quite a few things to pick out, but on the whole, it's quite similar to Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. So if you enjoy Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, then I think you'll be quite happy with Mass Effect Andromeda's multiplayer. But obviously, you know, playing a game is obviously different to watching a game, so we'll have to wait and see when the game actually comes out. But until then, we've got all this information to get through, so let's get started.
Welcome back to the Mass Effect.
Okay, so the guy's going to be talking through the footage, but what I'll do is I'll just I'll keep the volume quite quiet, and I'll just highlight the stuff as we see. So opening scenes, some guys about to do a ground pound. One of the new features of Mass Effect Andromeda is that you can actually jump into the sky, sort of hover as well. And yes, even though in Call of Duty games I think it's a really stupid idea, in obviously something like Mass Effect, hovering in the sky or boost jumping into the air, it makes sense, you know, and it's sort of a scenario that I can work with, I can live with. And it was sort of missing in Mass Effect 3. The mobility of getting, you know, just from one platform to another just wasn't there. You had to use ladders and stuff like that, and it didn't feel right. So they've addressed that in this game, and well, that's one of the first things they open up with. So on the screen, not too many things to highlight. If you didn't already know, the consumables return. So you've got self-revive, you've got re-up your ammo, you've got restore your shields, and then you've got the Cobra missiles, which have now been recalled the Cobra RPG. I guess because missile indicates something a bit bigger, and RPG makes more sense because you can carry those around. The weapon the guy's using is Revenant LMG, featured I think first in Mass Effect 2 and then 3 and now Andromeda as well. Okay, so yeah, Remnant Wave 1, the timer is always on the screen now. That's what I've seen so far. People did like to try and beat like their own personal best times, and I've talked about this in the previous video about speed running and stuff like that. So I'm guessing that's just going to pick up again in this game, and it's going to be interesting to see if there's actually going to be a tactic that reveals itself in terms of farming credits, which you probably heard of by now if you played Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. And again, haven't yet found out what these white little symbols mean on top of the icons, but well, we've talked about powers and stuff in the reveal trailer quite a lot, so I won't cover that again. And as you can see, green markers indicates other players on the field, and then you've got a very basic sort of, not even a mini map, it's sort of like just a heads up radar, and it gives you a direction of where enemies are, and you know, that sort of thing, and objectives, I'm guessing, when it comes up as well.
In this video,
not too many things to talk about here. The person's using the same weapon, just a different character. We've got an Asari now, and in the first screen it was a human. As you can see on the left hand side there, I think the max number that you can carry in terms of consumables is 5. That's what it was originally in ME3 until they released upgrades with the DLCs. So eventually that could go to higher. I think it was 9 in Mass Effect 3 at one point, but you do only start off with I think 2. So you get 2, then you can get upgrades up to a maximum of 5, and then if they choose to increase the limit past that point, like they did in ME3, which I imagine they will, because they're going to follow the same sort of structure when it comes to releasing DLC. They've already announced this. DLC is going to be free. It's going to be funded by microtransactions. Obviously, nobody likes microtransactions, but if it does fund free DLC for the remainder of the year, like Mass Effect 3, I can sort of stomach it because I didn't pay a penny towards the multiplayer, but I played it for well over a year, and we got free maps, we got free characters, we got free weapons. And yes, you could argue that we paid for that in the course of paying for the game itself, but you know, not all developers have to do this, and so I guess it's an okay balance. It's a balance I can sort of deal with, so that's what it is at the moment.
we'll focus on multiplayer.
Okay, so Different character, not too sure. This person is using what I believe to be the Prothean particle rifle, PPR for short, and as you can see, it now has a percentage meter rather than an actual meter itself, which was in ME3. And basically, you don't have to reload, but it's based on a cooldown timer. So you start at 100%, which is max clip, if you will, and then you go all the way down to 0. If you hit 0, your weapon will overheat and you can't use it for a certain amount of time. It's like 5-10 seconds or whatever. So you never really want to hit 0, but it's not the end of the world if you do. The benefits of this are you don't have to reload in terms of hitting ammo dumps. I don't know how it operates in this game, but in ME3, I think the first 50% of the clip did like normal damage, and then the latter 50% did extra damage. So if you timed it right, you could sort of hit like 99% of your clip effectively and maximize the damage. So it's a bit of skill involved, but I mean, obviously you shoot into the enemy's dead and then you move on to the next one,
which enables you to take on new adventures.
This screen, we start to learn a bit more about, well, I guess if you played Mass Effect 3, I think the objectives are the ones that you featured in that game are going to return to Andromeda. So the one on the screen at the moment is hacking, and basically your entire team needs to get into this area, and effectively it's a bit like a siege area. So you hold it down, and the bar fills up, and eventually you'll have sent all the data to back to the Tempest or whatever. So you're uploading data from this point, from this control point or whatever it is. So that's just how the objective works, and the more people are in it, the quicker it will upload. And probably one of the more fun ones when everyone joins in rather than just goes and does their own thing. I think the weapon that this person using is the Falcon, I believe, which is sort of like a grenade launching assault rifle, and it's really not as OP as it sounds. I used it in ME3, and I imagine a lot of people tried it as well, and it's a very niche weapon. I think it staggers quite well enemies, but it doesn't really do that much damage, and there's other weapons that will do a lot more damage in the same amount of time, and probably more effectively as well. But as I said, it's one of the fun things about Mass Effect multiplayer is that it gives you a chance to sort of experiment with classes and builds and weapons, and it's just, on the face of it, you don't think of it, but you can spend a lot of hours just fine-tuning your kits. And I imagine a lot of people took a bit of pride in creating the ultimate class for them, for their playstyle, for their characters. And it's one of the things I really enjoyed about Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, and I look forward to doing that again in Andromeda. And as you can see, wave 6 is an objective wave. If they follow the same process as ME3, I think it's 3, 6, and then 10. Those are the objective waves. Those are the waves where you get payout of credit. And then obviously extraction wave, which is wave 11, and that does return, and I'll show you that as the screen comes on.
Challenges beyond the single player campaign.
N7 Hurricane does return, and we'll see that in the trailer later on.
Single player campaign.
New weapon called the Sweeper. I think we get a look at that later as well. This person's doing a biotic charge onto an enemy. Okay, this, I'm not too sure what this is. Biotic amplifier. Now, I don't think this is it doesn't seem like it would be a power. It could be a piece of equipment or something like that instead. Equalizer, I believe, is a weapon. I don't know if that features in the trailer or not. I can't remember. And don't know what this weapon is. At first I thought because of the clip size it might be the Geth pulse rifle or something like that, but it does look a bit different, so it could be a similar sort of, like a large clip weapon, but not actually the Geth pulse rifle. And that's another thing to mention. I don't know if the Geth actually feature in this. They don't feature in the trailer, and they don't feature in any material related to Andromeda whatsoever, but I have a feeling that they will make an appearance at some point into multiplayer, because I think it'd be quite a good thing if the Geth followed the Andromeda initiative. It's something that I would kind of expect them to do, to find out what the humans are up to, just to follow them. And I think at the time of this project, the Andromeda initiative, they were still at war with the humans. So, well, I don't know if they were at war with the humans or the humans were at war with the Geth, but you know what I mean. So I'm guessing at some point they will make an appearance, and some of the Geth character kits were the best in ME3 multiplayer, so I'm looking forward to see what they come up with this time round.
Player is a cooperative mode that encourages and rewards teamwork. Up to 4.
A lot of stuff to talk about on this particular screen. In the corner, Apex rating. More about that later, because there's a few things I want to cover first. Andromeda points. I believe this is earned via the campaign. See, alright, there's Andromeda points, there's MP credits, and there's mission funds. Each one of these is separate, but I believe they're all linked in a certain way. So, MP credits is the credits that you earn from completing objective waves in the multiplayer. So objective waves are, as I said, 3, 6, and 10, and then you do get bonus credits for extracting. I think that returns, and that was in ME3, and I think that should return in MEA. Mission funds, not too sure what this is, but on the screen later on, I guess I'll talk about it when we get to it. And then Andromeda points, which I believe is currency that you earn playing the campaign. But so the mission funds or Andromeda points, one of those is microtransactions, or possibly both. I'm not too sure, but definitely one or more of those two are definitely microtransactions. Apex rating on the characters, as you can see, features on all of them. Now, at first, I thought this might be related to your individual characters. So as you rank up your characters, they get a better Apex rating. But then there is a mention later on in the campaign, in a note related to the campaign, in that the Apex rating is something to do with the strike teams. And strike teams are, okay, I guess this is quite of a long segment. So in the campaign, you have side missions, and basically you can send out a strike team to complete these side missions, and then just wait for the result of that mission to come back. So they'll either fail or succeed, or come back all dead or something. Well, not return at all, I guess, it all died. Or you can go out yourself and complete this mission, and this mission will take you to a multiplayer setting, and you'll just complete obviously that match, and that'll count toward doing that mission. Now, as I said, missions can fail, so sometimes it's best to go yourself, or sometimes if it's something really trivial, then yeah, just send out your team and let them deal with it and hope that they come back victorious. Otherwise, give them a slap around the face for failing. So I guess, I don't know, like on the one hand, I generally do single player before moving on to multiplayer. That's how I approach all my games. And I don't expect I'm going to change playing MEA, but I don't want to send out my team and then potentially failing it when I could go out and do it myself. And I guess, now that I think about it, I suppose it makes no difference, because it's a map that you're going to face anyway, right? In the campaign for ME3, those side missions were effectively the maps that they use for multiplayer. So if you played multiplayer, you sort of sport the single player, but if you played single player first, then you got an idea of the maps when you move on to multiplayer, which is why I always do single player first. So I guess there's no harm in doing the multiplayer mission as part of the single player campaign, just not the other way around. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, so we talked about the funding stuff. Okay, so this is I guess this is the new lobby layout. So you can see the options to start the mission. You can change the settings, character selection, character customization, prestige. Not too sure what this is at the moment, but it's probably something to do with the N7 rating, but revamped. I'm hoping it is in there, because the N7 rating was bloody awful in ME3. It meant absolutely nothing, and yet people judged you entirely on that one number, and it's just so infuriating. You can go to the store. One thing that is missing, and if you played ME3, you'll probably know it straight away, there's no option to kick players. This was like a double-edged sword, mostly evil, but at some points it came in useful. So just basically, it's exactly what it sounds like. If you deemed a player to not be an appropriate fit for the lobby, or if they were abusive or whatever, you could choose to kick them, and if they got a majority vote to be kicked, then they'll be kicked from the lobby. And it was just, I guess, more bad than good. But it wasn't necessarily evil in some cases, and I'm just hoping that they sort of rework that. Well, it looks like they've just taken it out entirely in this case. We'll have to wait and see if that makes a difference to how the game flows. Okay, so mission custom. I'm not too sure what that means exactly. Are there other parameters that you can play around with, or is it just because they've changed the difficulty of the map and obviously the enemy type and stuff like that? So that all returns as well, so you can pick map and enemy and difficulty. I don't know how high it goes, but in ME3 it was bronze, silver, gold, platinum. Platinum was actually released as part of the DLC, so it's probably just going to go bronze, silver, gold to start off with, and then at some point in the future there will be a high difficulty introduced. As you can see, Infiltrator, Adept, Vanguard, and then it also tells you who the host of the match is as well.
Players join together to survive escalating waves of enemies, complete a series of...
Okay, so as you can see, another wave 6, and that's the time. And in the top right corner, as you can see, this is another objective wave, and this one is to disable devices. Returns from ME3. Basically, there are 4 points dotted around the map, and you have to deactivate them in a certain order. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then obviously you complete the wave, and that's the end of that particular objective.
Objectives. and extract from the battlefield.
Oh, too early. Okay, so as you can see, extraction does return to the game, and there's a screen later on I'll talk about a bit more then, but basically not only do you have to complete waves 1 through 10 or 1 through whatever number of waves it is, you then need to extract, and if you extract you get a bonus amount of credits, and if the entire team extracts I think you get a bit more on top, but effectively it's whatever the final wave is, wave 11 in ME3, and it's sort of you just got to extract, and that's your objective, and you only have to be at the extraction point right at the end, so you technically don't need to camp it out or anything unless you want to.
Let's jump right in. First, choose your character kit.
Now we move on to character selection, as you can see on the screen here. And I don't like the way this is set up. I prefer it to be broken down into classes, and then obviously you pick individual characters from the classes. Here it looks like they've just put all the characters on the screen, and you sort of just have to know who they are. I think this might be just, well, I'm hoping it's just a temporary setup until obviously the final game releases, but we'll have to wait and see. Okay, so Apex rating here, as we talked about previously, briefly I suppose. Actually, no, did we cover it? I don't think we did. Okay, so Apex rating, as I said, I thought originally it's to do with your individual characters, but it's a global number, and I think it's to do with possibly something to do with the amount of matches you've completed, your success rate, that sort of thing. And obviously the higher the Apex rating, the more you've played, I'm guessing. I don't know if this can go down as well as up, or if this is like your reputation, I suppose, for sending out your strike teams. Higher Apex rating possibly might mean a higher success rate. I don't know. It's stuff that they haven't really explained in a great amount of details, so just have to wait and see. Andromeda points 0. Don't know why. Credits is quite low, and mission funds is next to non-existent. So this is obviously a different character to who we were looking at earlier. As you can see, this is a human female adept. It says 3. I don't know what the 3 means, because this person is level 1. So does that mean there are different... I mean, can you have human adepts 1, 2, and 3, and then higher? Does each one have their own build, sort of thing? Is that what it represents? Health and shields broken down again, just like it was in ME3. Powers are all there. These are all the old ones, so I won't go over them again. What is new, however, is bonus stat. Now, this is quite interesting, and there is a screen later on, and I'll show you how it comes into play. But this bonus stat is something, sort of a long-term goal that you work towards. And as you can see, it's at level 0 at the moment, and it does actually take a while to level up. And again, I'll show you that obviously as we go to the next screen. And as you can see, human adept is a common class apparently, and there's a little explanation of it there.
There are over 25 character.
Okay, moving on to human female soldier 2. Again, don't know what the 2 stands for, and all this stuff here. I think turbocharge has been renamed. It seems as though it's firing more bullets, which means it could be similar to adrenaline rush from ME3, or it could be an entirely new skill, who knows. And then as you can see, the bonus stat that this person's chosen for this character, actually I don't know if it's chosen per individual character or like it's preset for each character, if you know what I mean. So soldiers have shields and biotics have health, or whatever, or can you sort of mix it up a bit? And as you can see, this one's max shield, so level 0 again, but once you level it up, then eventually you do get a plus percentage in your shielding. So definitely looking forward to maxing these out, obviously, to increase your capabilities in the game.
Kits available at launch.
And we got ourselves another adept, this time an Asari, and obviously Asari, biotics go hand in hand. Health, shields, powers, health regen. Health regen did feature on the other human adept, so possibly it's related. Each stat is related to each class, possibly, but it would be nice to mix them around. As you can see, each of these characters has a little arrow next to their face, and that means that they've got upgrade points available. And the number of points available, as you can see, denoted by the little circles. And also, each of these characters has a ring around them, so you've got like a sort of bronze colour, you've got silver colour, you've got gold colour, and then you've got, well, N7, I believe that's what the rank of that character. So each of these kits has a rating. So obviously, I don't know if you're familiar with the ME3 unlock process, but it was all done via crates, and you had no control over what you opened, and each crate had a value. Cheaper ones ranging to more expensive ones, and the more expensive ones had a higher drop rate, well, high percentage chance of dropping a rare item, and I'm guessing that they're following the same process here. So you've got the really common stuff going all the way to the really rare stuff, and well, I don't know, I guess, yeah, some of the rare stuff was really good, don't get me wrong, but then some of the common characters and classes could just be as good. Well, I don't know why I say classes. Some of the common characters could be just as good as the rare ones if you knew how to play them, and in some cases they were better. So yeah, don't set everything by rarity.
Including species from both the Andromeda and
So Krogan in the previous scene, Havoc Trooper in this one, Turian. As you can see, it does say rare.
Milky Way galaxies. Each has a unique set of
Female something, soldier, possibly using the Revenant LMG.
Each has a unique set of skills and abilities suited for different places.
So person's using Bardic Charge and then a new weapon. Don't know what the weapon is, but it looks like it's got it could be, I don't know, well obviously it's a pistol of some sort, but it doesn't seem to have too many rounds in the chamber, so it could be something like a revolver or heavy hitting like that. It's just Bardic Charge into an enemy and now shooting him in the face to finish him off. Okay, so now we move on to some more interesting stuff, and this is weapons. So picking a character, building that character up is one part of multiplayer. The other part is obviously the weapons, and this is where we get to see how you pick them and how you utilize them in the game. And again, it's very similar to Mass Effect 3 multiplayer in that you do pick one weapon or you can pick two weapons, but obviously the more you bring, the heavier your loadout, and so the slower your recharge time when it comes to powers. Again, nothing really changes in that respect.
From here, customize your load.
So, actually, I guess I should probably point out the categories that are available. So you've got assault rifles, pistols, sniper rifles, and shotguns. Nothing changes here. The only thing that is missing are SMGs. Now, I don't know if they've been lumbered in with assault rifles or if it's a category that you have to unlock, or as the screen suggests, this is weapon slot number 2, so possibly this person's already equipped an SMG in the first slot, which is why you, well then that doesn't make any sense. Surely you can bring, if you wanted to, you could bring, well, no. So I guess maybe you can't bring two weapons of the same type. I mean, I guess it'd be kind of pointless bringing two of the same weapons, but maybe you want to, I don't know. But that's probably why the SMGs don't feature on this particular screen.
From here, customize your load.
Okay, so person's gone into the sniper rifle category, and as you can see at the top of the screen, it does show the weight. So as I said, the heavier your character, the slower your power recharges. The lighter your character, the faster they recharge. I mean, obviously within limits, it does vary between characters as well. So some characters can carry more heavy stuff, some characters can't carry quite as heavy, but their powers might recharge quite quickly anyway. So it's all about fine tuning a balance, and part of what Mass Effect multiplayer is all about is just finding that right balance for you as a player, for your character as well, and obviously just finding the best weapons. Weapons, as you can see, so these are all the sniper rifles listed. So you've got the N7 variants, which are the most premium items, and then you've got a few gold ones, and I assume as you go further down the list you get the common and the crappy weapons. But as I said, don't set too much store by rarity, because it's not going to be easy to unlock these N7 rating weapons, right? These are going to be completely random, I'm guessing, if it follows the ME3 pattern. But some of the gold weapons, like for example the Indra, this was originally an N7 rating weapon, but not many people used it because it was quite unique. And well, they call it a sniper rifle. It had a scope on it, had pretty decent range, but it was basically an assault rifle with a built-in scope. So yeah, I can see why it's been demoted. Not many people use it anyway, so it's whatever. As you can see, the Black Widow does return. That was an N7 weapon, one of my favourite sniper rifles, one of the best sniper rifles in the game. N7 Valiant, a lightweight sniper rifle, but did sort of medium damage, which is why it wasn't as favoured as some of the others. Anyway, I'm not going to go over these weapons. I will cover that in future videos on my AcornVision gaming channel. I will of course be posting plenty of Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer footage as soon as I get around to playing the multiplayer on my AcornVision gaming channel. Before that though, I will be doing a campaign walkthrough on my Plays channel. So if you're interested in seeing either of those, then head over to those two respective channels and check them out. As I said, single players come first and then multiplayers come after. And if I spent anywhere near as much time as I did playing Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, you can expect quite a lot of footage and information for Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer on, as I said, AcornVision Gaming, and obviously this channel as well. Okay, so each weapon, as you can see, has a breakdown of damage, rate of fire, clip size, max ammo, accuracy, weight, just stats about the weapon. And this is something, again, that you'll just learn to appreciate as the more you play. Certain weapons have certain attributes that you want, and certain weapons have attributes that obviously you have to sort of fine tune and balance with your character, and it's just combinations, lots and lots of combinations, and you either enjoy that sort of thing or you hate it. It's just how Mass Effect multiplayer works.
Like this.
Naladon, I have no idea what the hell this weapon is. Looks kind of freaky as a sniper rifle, but it's probably one of the bloody remnant weapons or something. Before we go any further, I did miss something out as I was talking about the weapons. So each weapon, as you can see, has a number next to it. So you've got Black Widow 1, Inferno 1, and then you've got the Valiant 2. So the way it worked in Mass Effect 3 was that each weapon had a level. So it'd go from 1 all the way to 10. So the first time you unlocked it, the weapon would be level 1. If you unlock it again as a repeat, it would go up another level, and so on and so forth until it gets to level 10. Now at level 10, your damage will be at the maximum it could be. So level 1 damage weapon will be slightly different to level 10. It would have a slightly better clip. It would have slightly lighter weight. I think clip size stayed the same. I don't know if that changes too much, but those are the main things. So more damage, less weight, and so basically it's a better weapon of its original level. So obviously that's the benefit from unlocking the same weapon over and over again. It kind of sucks when you unlock weapons you don't use, and obviously, we'll get into that another time.
Like the single-player campaign, multiplayer weapons utilize Milky Way, Helios Cluster, and Remnant technologies. Each technology type gives you an edge on particular types of enemies.
Okay, so if I just take it back quickly and show you another new weapon, not too sure what it is. I did originally think Typhoon. It's definitely an LMG of some sort, looking at the amount of rounds that he's got in reserve and the clip size as well, but not too sure. It could be actually. It could be Equalizer or the Roserad, as denoted by on the screen, the kill feed. And as you can see as well, objective for this particular wave 3, is to recover objects. So you've got 2 objects to recover. In ME3 it was like canisters or intel or something, and you have to carry it back to the extraction zone. And well, there were ways of doing it quickly, and again I'll probably cover that if it ever comes up again in multiplayer, but there were like sort of tricks and stuff that you could do to make yourself move a little bit faster when carrying these, because they would slow you down and you had to walk to your objective, which is the whole purpose of collecting them.
Cluster and Remnant technology.
Okay, so he mentions the 3 factions there. So you got the Helios, the Milky Way Galaxy, and the Remnant faction, or whatever the hell they are. And so you've got 3 different weapon categories. I guess maybe the Geth are replaced then, I don't know. And as you can see, objective for this wave, again wave 3, is to disable devices, and I've already talked about this. So there are 4 devices dotted around the map, and you have to disable them in order. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Just actually 2 more things to mention. So on the powers, I think this is some sort of a mine infiltrator because of the cloak, and then you've got this fireball thing, which I'm guessing is a fireball thing. That was it, just at one point. Don't know why I said 2.